And then I spend money I didn't have on these fucking that's a fucking huge Elvis print. That's real gold fucking frame.
You can hawk that frame. You can take this shit to like a dealer, get them to melt it down. You
need a dealer to melt down the frame.
Yo, people fucking
turn the Philly off. Yeah, take the frame to the pawn shop.
Take it to the pawn shop.
God damn, taught you well. Holy shit, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking this time out to sit down with me. Ian Fidance, dog. All right, what we playing, man?
Mario, the new Super Mario on Switch. What did I just say to you? Oh, I said...
You didn't say nothing. We just started.
Sorry, it's been a whirlwind. All right, let's go. You can't also be Luigi.
I'm Luigi because I'm taller than you in real life.
No, I'm Luigi because I was at a hotel in Atlanta, and the old black lady behind the register, she was so sweet. I'm getting quarters to do my laundry, and she goes, "You know who you look like?" I go, "Who?" And she goes, "Luigi." And I go, "Oh yeah, I usually get Mario, but I'll take it." I go,
sounded like a compliment.
He's a successful plumber. You sure I'm not Mario? And she goes, "Nope. Luigi," and she already had it on her phone. And then the next day I check it out. I was like, "All right, Mama, have a good one." She goes, "Bye, Luigi."
I like that about old black women, though.
Me too.
Whatever they address you as is what you are in their mind, because that's how they have to categorize it. So a nickname is just a way for them to fit you in their life. So anytime you come back to the hotel, you're gonna be Luigi. And I gotta be
Luigi.
Mario.
Dude,
Luigi is the best one to me.
No, they bumped Mario up because it's all his stuff.
Yeah.
And Luigi should be like, "Welcome to the Flower Kingdom." So what Monroe calls my apartment because I'm half gay. It's
have you seen this apartment?
The apartment's dope.
It was far from gay. He needs a gay touch. You need something. I had to burp.
No, when Olivia lived here, I let her redecorate everything. She painted. We got new furniture. But the paintings are mine.
Okay. What did she do?
She painted everything. You remember this all used to be white.
It's still white, Ian.
Yo, you were colorblind?
Yo,
this is fucking
Ian.
tan. The fucking walls over there are blue. Like, you're an insane person.
I'm not an insane person.
And ever since you hit your head like 4 years ago, you've been different.
You think so?
You have no memory.
Yo, do you really think
Yeah.
Tell me
you
the
make
truth.
snap decision judgments, and it's like, yo, cool it.
That's not true. What snap decision judgment I mean?
You go, "Oh, is it this? Oh, is that? Oh, is this?" And I'm like, yo, chill.
Dog.
This
My
is
wife
not
did the same thing.
What?
We got the same color, and to me, if you're gonna choose a sand, you might as well just paint it white. All you're doing is going, let's just get a darker shade of white so we can touch the walls. Just fucking paint it another color. Stop being safe.
Aesthetically, it's nice. It's softer. If it's too white, it's too sterile, you know? I didn't like that she went with the China silk.
What's the China silk?
That blue. That like...
I'm be honest. It goes perfectly. If y'all can see that, if y'all can see,
she liked it and I didn't, but I said, "Baby, do what you want."
If you see it, if we could like show what his kitchenette looks like, I see what she was going for. I see the silk green with the what is that? The cabinets, but they're like golden.
Yeah.
Really? They're like golden. And you got the white already. So then it doesn't make sense to have the tan because now you're just throwing in another fucking color that our eyes got to adjust.
You were here with the white. It was too sterile. It was too, And then I spent money I didn't have on these fucking this fucking art. That's a fucking huge Elvis print. That's real gold fucking frame. I spent like a fucking month's rent on that because I was like, I got it, and then I didn't have it, and I was in trouble for a minute.
You might have saw that frame.
I had to pick up road work. I didn't want to fucking.
You can hawk that frame. You can take this shit to like a dealer, get them to melt it down. But why Elvis? Why do you
A
need
dealer
a
to
picture?
melt down the frame.
Yo, people
Yo,
fucking
turn the Philly off. Yeah, take the frame to the pawn
take
shop.
it to the pawn shop.
God
Yo.
damn, taught you well. Holy shit, dude. That's fucking
Look, I'm trying to
wild.
help you, man. I'm like, look.
Oh, you see the brass? Look at the brass utensil. Come on, yeah. Let me see. What's the wire here, copper? You give me 10 minutes, I'll get you $10,000. Come on.
Yo, hey. She taught me how to survive, all right? I see an opportunity in this house. You're like, oh man, I was
Dude, I would
I
love
was
for you
broke
to
for a
have,
while. I'm like,
I
fucking
would
take
love
that.
to have you host a show on HGTV called Crackhead Realty.
And then I'm just
And
like,
it's flipping houses on a crackhead budget.
I'm like, all right, let me get this out of here. What is
Yeah. You meet with the family and you like write down everything. You go, all right, let me think about it. You take out a crack pipe, you hit it, and you're like, here's what we're gonna do.
I'm like, look, a winter only lasts for 2 months, 3 months if you're lucky, right? We don't need any of this metal. We can scrap that.
Take the metal out, get cardboard. You see my spot on Vine Street? All right, come on.
That made me laugh so much, dog.
Upon receiving an invitation from Prince Florian. Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
That's me, Florian. Luigi and the others are traveling here for the first time.
What part of Delaware are you from?
Wilmington.
That's like the hood, right? Or
Some of it, yeah.
some of it. You didn't
like-
grow up in the hood part.
No, I'm like 5 minutes outside the hood. I grew up behind a shopping center.
You grew up in a shopping center?
Dude, there's that head injury again. Yeah, I grew up in a shopping center.
Yo, you could, yo.
I grew up in a Sam Goody
I believe it.
and an FYE. Oh no, it's King Koopa. It's Dante Nero. A woman's role is.
I'm clipping that. Y'all gonna be fighting now.
I love Dante.
I love Dante too, man.
Yeah, grew
So
up
what
in
was it growing
Wilmington.
up in Wilmington, Delaware? Because I didn't really start going to Delaware until I started doing comedy.
I mean, it's like this. What the
You can't say the same, because growing up in Philly, growing up in a part of Philly that I grew up in, when I went to Wilmington, I was like, this seemed, at least a good part of Wilmington seemed like.
Well, you didn't let me
step
finish.
above. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's the same as any other suburban sprawl of like, you know, you do like, you know, like Little League, and you know, you go to the school and those friends you make you with for life, and there's you know, like I didn't grow up in the city proper, so I can't relate to that. But I ended up teaching the inner city, but I didn't experience that unless I was like doing volunteer work in the city when I was in like high school. Was that King B. Bowser? How could he steal our Wonder Flower and our Flower Castle too? I can't
So
believe.
let me ask you this question. So when you're teaching kids from the inner city and you're raised in suburbia, like what's their common ground? Like how did you try to relate to them?
Oh, well, their common ground was all of them hated me. So that was their common ground. No, they didn't hate me. You know, I really had to learn. It was such a lesson in life to leave my white ideal of discipline and behavior and expectations at the door. And when you go into someone else's world, you acclimate to them. You don't expect them to acclimate to you. And I initially, at one school, thought that, you know, my like, you know, white, stern discipline was blah, blah. And then it was like, I learned to let them, you got to pick and choose your fires, and to expect a community of people to change their, you know, idea of learning and discipline and everything to like my ideal. We're coming from two different worlds. So I feel like whenever people enter different communities, it's up to them to like, I get so fucking mad when like whites move into my neighborhood and they like don't introduce themselves or make friends with people or whatever. And like, you know, they'll all talk about like,
Do you say anything to them?
No, but I talk to my neighbors. Oh, dude.
Wait, let's get that
elephants.
fucking 10. Oh, you don't collect points. You don't like doing that?
What? You collect points?
Yeah, look. How you see that fucking thing floating?
Oh, you got it. Good work. We're elephants.
Elephants. All right, but I'm listening. Because I have a follow-up question, too,
No, but
after you're
I
done.
talk to my neighbors, and they're always like, yeah, these people, like, don't talk to us, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, so I was talking to some bitch outside of a show in Brooklyn, and she was like, oh, I lived in that neighborhood, and, you know, I lived by the park, and, you know, it was so nice, but the kids play at the park so loud at night, and I would, you know, have to file a noise complaint. I felt so bad, but, you know, people have work, and I'm like, you stupid bitch. Do you realize that, like, them being in the park is infinitely better than them being on the corner? Like, you're in their neighborhood. Like, how dare you? You know, like, and if you didn't like it, scope out the neighborhood ahead of time and fucking don't live there. Like, what does it matter with you?
So you came up in you would say you came up in a strict household? Because you said
yeah.
you did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You don't
like,
strike me as a type of person that would come up in that.
well, my dad raised me super strict, but when he died, I was 8. And then my mom, you know, goddamn, she did her best.
Yeah.
And she was strict in, like, wildly different ways. But, like, how do you get up there?
Yo, you know, you kind of gotta play this game while also holding Y. Because Y would just make you jump higher, run faster.
Yeah, but what is this water thing that goes out of my face?
I mean, it's probably your power that you use
Oh,
to...
yeah, and that's why for me, so you're making me lose all my...
Yeah, but when you hold Y, it makes you run faster. And ain't no water thing coming out of your face. Look, I'm pushing Y, ain't no water.
Nah, dude, wait, some sort of water's gonna come out. See?
Oh, because you're in the water. Oh, you gotta go get the water.
Oh, it's good for water.
Yeah. And then you...
Oh, I got a wonder seed.
Yeah. We just started playing the game. You don't know what any of this shit mean. All right, so your mom was strict,
No, my dad was strict.
but
And my dad had, like, discipline and, like, all this stuff. And then my mom had to be both, like, a mom and a dad. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's like at the same time, she needed a, you know, a friend and a husband and a fucking confidant. And I became all those things. So instead of being like, you need to be in bed by 8, it's like, well, no one else is in the house but us.
Yeah.
I don't have a husband. You can stay up and watch TV with me till 3.
Yeah. How long did that last for?
Oh, always. But, like,
What do you mean? Like, to what age? Until you...
I mean, I still stay up super late. You know, like, bedtime is like, what is that?
So can I don't know.
But I was, like, a troubled kid. So I would always get in trouble. So I liked because when I taught middle school, I fucking hated it. Kids are the worst. They're fucking liars. They're sneaks. They're manipulators. It's, like, really, really tough to get on that level. High school I loved, and I loved teaching, like, the bad kids because I was, like, a real bad kid. So I, like, really got along well with, like, the kids that were, like, problems. And they would, like, it really taught me, like they would like test me when I would go in. Like, it's like prison, dude. You get tested, and are you gonna be a bitch and fucking fold, or are you gonna stand your ground? So they would, like, rip me, and then I'd hit them back with a roast, and they're like, all right, you're cool, let's go.
Yeah.
And that's, whoa, go down there.
Okay.
And then that's how that was, like, because I went
you're
from,
over there. You see you in the back?
what the fuck?
That's
Because
cool.
I went from being like, you know, my way of, you don't get up and walk around, this is bad, to being like, okay, that's how you are. You can, oh, I thought I was you for a second. Like,
You thought you were killing it?
oh yeah. Like, you're a kid that gets up and walks around the room instead of being like, how dare you? Where are you going? It's like, no. Let that kid get up and walk around.
Yeah.
And then just make sure he knows to go back to his seat as long as he doesn't disturb people. You know? Like, treat him like a fucking, like, adult and friend in a way, but with like mutual respect, and that would like really help, you know.
Yeah.
But like, oh,
I'm trying
one up,
because I
got a
feel like
one
there's
up.
something.
I got a
Okay,
one
yeah.
up.
You got the one. I feel like there's something else in there. Though.
But like, dude, when eventually, like, I really like learned to be like, because like begging kids to be like, do this, you have to do it for your future, blah blah. Like, my best time teaching was when I leveled with them and was like, yo, I'm getting a paycheck and I've got to be here regardless. If you guys pass, that's good for you, but if you don't, really, like, you're only hurting yourself. So if you want to learn, you can, and if not, then you can be a part of the class that doesn't move on. And but the kids that want to learn, we're here to learn. So let's learn. Who wants to learn? And I'd be like, whoever wants to learn, come to this side of the room. Who doesn't want to learn? And then the kids that didn't want to learn were almost like ostracized because there was more kids that were like, yeah, I actually want to do this.
Yeah.
And then the kids that didn't want to learn were like I learned that silence is so important because I was like, I would be like, stop, everyone, why are you? And it's like, that doesn't do shit.
Yeah.
But if you stop talking, then kids are like, oh, shit. The teachers, you stop talking. What's he saying? Yeah.
That's
then,
for comedy, too.
that, dude, that helped me so much in comedy, you know? And, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I try to look at like everything as a lesson to be learned. It's just a matter of how fast you want to learn it. Like every experience you have, if it's bad, it's still good.
Man. When your dad passed away and you and your mom became closer and you had to be her support system and she had to be your support system too.
Of course.
Were disciplinary lines blurred? Like, did you feel like her friend, or did she clearly let you know you were still her son and there's rules that you have to follow, or was it kind of just like you can call your mom by her first name?
No, it wasn't that. No, come on.
I don't know why you push back. We're here. Just press OK.
Oh, scam skedaddlers.
So you couldn't call her you didn't call her by her first name.
No, did you call your mom by your first name?
Do I call my mom by her first name? No, but have my siblings? Definitely. So that's why I asked that question. Because I've seen it. I've seen people call their parents by their first name in different homes and shit and
That's
like kind of
weird.
just like watch that relationship. Some parents don't know how to parent, so their approach is friendship. Right? Their approach is just like, look, you just gotta be here until you 18.
That's not friendship.
And then once you out of here, you kind of on your own, but I'll provide and give you things that you need.
That's not friendship. That's not a parent treating their kid like a friend. That's more of like a authoritarian of like, here's the limit of my love. Once you're 18, you're on your. That's like not friendship is like, all right, you're in trouble, but I'm gonna let you get off. Okay, all right, you want to stay up late.
You heard it. I mean, like they look at the responsibility as a thing of like. They're like, look, once you turn 18, you can make all the decisions you want. But you're still in this house, and my only job is to keep you alive while you're still in this house until the age of 18.
Right,
I've seen people do that.
Right, but that's not, to me, that's not like treating your kid as a friend. That's treating them as like, almost like a burden. Like, once you're 18, you're done. Not
that
like
wasn't the situation for you.
No, that's not what I view as like a parent having their kid as a friend. A parent like is like.
Asking you what like type of relationship you had with your mom.
My mom was eternally giving and kind and there for me, but there was also a thing of, you know, like. My mom has never. I put my mom through so much fucking hell, and I can't imagine. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You're asking me to do a deep dive into my life while I'm fucking playing fucking Super Mario. It's like, which part of my brain do you want me to access? The one where I'm good at a game, or one where I half-heartedly do like a psychoanalysis of the mother-son relationship that has developed over the past 38 years. No, I can't do both. I'm bad at
doing stand-up. You got to think about the next 5 jokes while also dealing with what's in front of you.
No, I don't. I stay in the moment.
You stay in the moment?
Uh-huh. And I say what's in my head. Oh, I got little again. Oh. Am I dead?
So you were saying,
help me. You got to help me.
What are you talking about helping you? I'm
Look,
the one that's
he
around
says
here.
help me.
Oh, shit. I couldn't even figure it out.
See? Now I'm dead.
Look, and now I'm about to get that spirit. Oh, no, you came back. Look at that. It made me go through all that panic for what?
But I'm a little guy now.
I mean, that seems appropriate.
I've been a little guy my whole life. Dude, I got into it with a guy at on an airplane. Uh-huh. Oh, my God. He was like if Carlton from Fresh Prince was also like a fucking, like all about vaccines. Okay. He was like in like a suit and like had 2 masks on. And first of all, I get on the plane. He's in my seat, window seat. I don't care. I'm not like, I'm like, I'm actually in this seat. And he goes, fine. I'm like, well, that's a weird reaction. And then there was like shifting around, and I go, before I moved, this guy goes, hey, my wife's pregnant. Would you mind if so I went to a window seat. He had an aisle seat or middle seat or something. I don't know. And the guy was like, hey, my wife's pregnant. Do you mind if we just switch seats? Yeah. If we switch seats, if she was fat, he was lying. But either way, she seemed like she desperately needed help. So, you got a wonder seat. Yes. So he's like, do you mind switching seats so I can just sit next to my wife? Mm-hmm. And the guy goes, actually, I do mind. Yeah. And because they would have had to sit him in the aisle seat, her in the other aisle seat, so they're far away. And I go, because one of them had the middle and I had the window, right? Mm-hmm. So the guy goes, yeah, actually I do mind. And I go, you know what? I don't mind. I have my seat. Mm-hmm. And they go, oh, that was your good deed. Thank you very much. I go, yeah, no problem. You in my seat, and you're an asshole. Okay, right. You're an asshole.
You
That's
put
what
your
I did.
finger in his face.
Oh yeah, fuck him.
But you escalated the situation.
He was a dickhead.
He was a dickhead for not giving up his seat.
Yeah.
To a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. I don't think.
Why?
Because your pregnant wife is your responsibility, not mine. Like we see how society treats kids, right? I feel like I'm a foster kid. I've got to see the other side of this whole like children first and this, that, and it's like that's a farce. That's just to get people riled up.
I think treating children as a little god and deifying them and giving them whatever they want, and you make your own decisions at 6 years old. That is awful.
Like Sweden gives you money to raise your kid.
Right, but that's still not parents letting children make their own decisions. No. And also, Sweden has such a small population, and they're all white. So, not anymore, not with migrants. Yeah. But I hate the comparison between us and Sweden and Norway. It's like
but that's the
they
only
have such
comparison because that's.
But you can't compare because of the population size.
I know, but no.
That's the thing. Of course, it works in their system because they have a smaller population. We have billions of people. What other countries?
Other countries do like.
What other countries?
Because we still got to go back to the original thing. I don't think giving up a seat to a pregnant woman. I think it's more virtue signaling. Where are you going?
I'm hungry. I gotta get my food. I gotta get my food. Keep it recording. This is real.
But you dropped something, so I have to make sure.
This is real.
Me personally,
if Michelle was pregnant,
it's up to me. It was up to me to look at the seat arrangements and change them before we get on the flight. It's up to me to make sure that she is comfortable from beginning to end, right? So I need to go on this app. I need to look at the seat arrangements. I need to speak to the person at the front gate to make sure that everything
Speak at
is
the front gate.
Oh,
what are
you
you
don't-
speaking about at the front gate?
So, man, me and my wife, we fucking travel differently now. We go to the front gate. We ask, because one, first class tickets are way lower when you talk to people at the front gate. When you get to the gate and then you're about to check in, you can literally pay them and be like, yo, what's the seat arrangement look like?
That's only if they're open. What if
Even-
it's a full packed flight
But you
and
still, but
you could
dog,
only get those seats available when you got the tickets?
y'all
What if they
running
were the
cheap
last
shit.
2 tickets on the plane?
But dog, this is what I'm saying. But then you have to deal with that. If the person says no, then you have to deal with that. You don't get to demonize this person for not giving a fuck about your family. I think it's virtue. I think it's virtue signaling.
No,
If I
virtue signaling would have been if I was sitting there and I tweeted about it,
Nah,
or
did
did it and said a man wouldn't give up a seat, so I did. I didn't
But
do
you
it for
did that
anyone
in a
else.
way- you did
For
that in a
what
reason.
I feel is
I gotta-
justifiably right.
Now I'm getting my shit.
Uh-huh.
Get my food.
Uh-huh.
You're not letting me talk.
Yeah, I am.
When you felt like you were in the right because you
I was.
give up your seat to a pregnant woman, where the actual person who is responsible for that pregnant woman is the nigga who knocked her up. Listen, don't cut me off. Do not cut me off. When me and Michelle, because we travel all the time, when we book seats, we look at the layout. We go, there's one in between us. You know what that means. Somebody's going to sit here. Now, if they choose not to move, which has happened, if they choose not to move, are you okay with that? If she goes no, it's up to me to either move my seat over beforehand or move her seat over so we don't have to run into that. But she is my responsibility. No one else's responsibility. Pregnant or not, that's my wife. So if somebody decides to give up a seat for my wife, thank you so much. But if they don't, they're not a bad guy for doing that. And I think that's a fucked up thing to do, to be like, this lady is pregnant. She can be a terrible mom. She can be, we don't know this person. But because we're going, you're an asshole because you didn't give up the seat to me, that's virtue signaling. Because you want everybody else on the plane to know that you are the hero. Not you, but when I've seen people do that.
I didn't
And
do it
to me,
loud.
I'm like, yo.
I didn't do it loud. I didn't make a scene. I walked by and I went, no problem, you're welcome. And you're an asshole.
But how is he an asshole for
How?
going, yo, I paid for this.
Because guess what?
I paid for this seat.
Guess
It's
what?
up to y'all. You could have figured it out.
Guess what? He, first of all, was sitting in my window seat. So he tried to get one over on me.
Okay.
Okay? So, first of all, that's wrong.
All right.
Okay.
So that's what he's wrong at.
So, then he's politely asked, would you mind? He had an aisle seat, right?
Yes.
He had an aisle seat. So his aisle seat, look, ready?
I'm listening. I can
No,
hear And I
you,
can see
you
you.
need to look.
I
His,
hate you, Ian.
this is the aisle in the middle. 1, 2, 3. I had a window seat, husband in the middle seat,
Yes.
asshole in the aisle seat,
Yeah.
wife in the other aisle seat.
Yes.
So if he switched with the wife, he would still have an aisle seat. So you're switching aisle seats. It's not like he's taking a middle seat. He's taking a seated, he's switching aisle seats.
Okay.
So he was an asshole.
And what was his reason not to do it?
I didn't get into it. I don't need a fucking reason.
So why don't you need a reason? You
Because-
didn't need a reason to call him an asshole. You
Yeah.
did not need a reason to call him an asshole. You already assumed he's in the wrong because he was sitting in your seat, and
And
you did this whole layout, and I'm like, okay, now.
but when they said, sorry, do you mind if my wife sits in this? Do you mind switching seats with me so that me and my wife can sit together?
And if that guy says
And he
no,
goes, he didn't say, oh no, I'm sorry. He said, actually, I do mind. He was a smug prick. Okay.
Okay.
And I said, I don't mind. You can have my seat. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. And you're an asshole. Fuck him.
I know, Ian.
And then he started mouthing off.
You're adding new shit, Ian.
Well, I couldn't get to it because fucking
Ian,
you're
the one that's been cutting me
interrupting.
off the whole time.
No.
Let's run the footage back.
Run it back.
You've been
Run it
cutting
back.
me off the whole time because all I said was, wait, you kind of the asshole. Not you kind of the asshole, but why is it that guy's responsibility to get up and move? I just don't like that. And then we took it other places. I was like, dude, the kids are in the future because I thought you were going to take it there. But end of the day, that guy's wife and his family is his responsibility.
I understand.
If the person does not want to move, it's either they just have to deal with it.
I understand. But do you understand the context of the situation where the guy was trying to take my seat, acted in a huff to get up, and then when they said, do you mind, instead of going, I'm sorry, I want to sit.
I know, but
he goes, yeah, actually, I do mind. He was an asshole.
I know, but I'm saying, why did you have to be the person to put him in his place?
Because we were all in the same fucking row.
You're not answering my question. Why did you have to be the person to put him in his place?
Because if I moved, then they would get their wish of sitting together.
Why did you? But you moved, but then you still took the extra moment out of your life to go, and you're an asshole.
Because the guy was an asshole. And if you act like an asshole, you should fucking know about it.
I know, but
Fuck him. I'm not going to be passive aggressive and make eyes with other people and go, oh, this guy. I'm not going to do that. No, you're being an asshole. All right, see ya. But when have I ever been not outspoken? Okay?
Outspoken?
Yeah. And also, you were accusing me. I could be an asshole too. I could totally be in the wrong.
I'm not saying you're an asshole.
No, you were saying I was virtue signaling.
Yes, which doesn't mean an asshole. Virtue signaling to me
anyone that
you want people around to know that you are a good person.
I didn't care about that. It was not about that.
So then why did you have to
put the
guy in his place?
Because my moral compass and my barometer for right and wrong told me that he was wrong. And when people are rude to other people, it really ticks something off in me, and motherfuckers need to know.
I know,
And
but it's not.
he started getting into it with me, and we were coming back from Vegas. It's a cross-country flight, by the way. It's not like it's from here to fucking Boston.
Pillows as a thing?
Just don't spill anything on it, or else I'll lose my mind. It was a cross-country flight from fucking Vegas.
Okay.
It's like an uncomfortable flight.
Still not answering my question, but
listen. Also, they want to be together. She wants to lean on him. Maybe they planned the trip too late. I don't know. It doesn't hurt to ask, and he's well within his right to say no. But to say it, yeah, actually, I do mind. You're an asshole. Fuck you.
I know, and we're still not getting to
the what?
The actual point of.
Well, I haven't finished my story yet.
But regardless, no, you finished the story to the point where I'm like,
no, I haven't.
Need to be the hero for
you because I have a savior complex too. I'm well aware.
That's all.
I'm well aware. I'm well aware.
But that doesn't
sometimes
make you right. A savior complex.
I never said
make you right. It just means you feel the need to interject.
In that moment, yes, but. You didn't let me finish the story because you started accusing me of virtue signaling and this and that, and then we got to another thing. That doesn't mean I'm virtue signaling. That means I'm a fucking dick. I'll be a dick. Cool. I'll be a dick for what's right.
Virtue signaling, nigga.
That's not virtue signaling. Do you even know what virtue signaling is? Virtue signaling is saying something you don't believe in or doing something that you think is so like.
I told you my definition. And it could be wrong. My definition is you're doing it in a way that lets everyone know you are the right person in the situation.
Nobody knew because it was slightly between me and him.
So the couple didn't see it.
The couple saw it, and thanked me. But virtue signaling is an empty gesture so that you are perceived as good. The gesture I did was not empty because action was actually taken during the gesture. Virtue signaling is if, I'm online and I'm, Just so you guys
But that
know,
phrase been around before
women,
online stuff.
for sure.
So it
but
can't
but
just be
again,
an online
virtue.
thing.
No. I acted in a way that I felt was right for what I believe, and
Yes.
virtue signaling is acting in a way that you don't believe, but you're doing it so you can be perceived as good. So there's a difference. I was not virtue signaling. I do not care.
Well, I apologize because that's how it came off to me.
I
was
understand.
like, all right, look,
I understand.
the guy.
I don't care what
regardless
anyone
if
thinks.
The guy was wrong or right. It's between those three people.
I don't care.
And you didn't have the right to call him an asshole to his face just because you didn't like how he did.
Yeah, but
It's
also
like,
those people, it was a passive aggressive situation between everyone. And also, I didn't care and I don't care what anyone thinks about me. I know what I think about me. And if I see something within my range that I feel is wrong, I have a problem where I'm going to interject myself and go, hey, fuck
you
you.
understand that couldn't be dangerous, right?
I understand. I understand. And also, if something was popping off on the train, I would probably get fucking stabbed to death because I'd run my fucking mouth and interject. I don't want to live in a world where I see something within my range, within my area, as a perceived injustice for what I know is against what I feel is morally right or wrong, and just let it happen. I never want to be a guy.
It wasn't a perceived injustice. The only person that he wronged was you because he sat in your seat originally.
No, he wronged them by
No.
being rude to them
He just
in
said,
his
"I wouldn't
rejection.
mind."
No,
To
he
me,
didn't.
that's how white guys talk.
He was
White-
black.
Oh, good. High five.
He was fucking
You know,
black.
Fuck it, I'm on his side.
Fuck
I'm on
him.
his side now.
Fuck him.
I thought he was white. I forgot that you said Black Carlton.
I said,
I'm
call
on his
him.
side now. Look. For some reason I thought he was white, and I'm like, that's how y'all talk.
No, see?
I'm passive
It's
aggressive.
not about race. It's about right or wrong. He was being a dick.
But him saying.
So then he
was mine,
started popping off to me.
What do you think
And
to you?
he goes, what'd he say? I forget. He said something, but the guy next to me was like a bigger guy. And he goes, I forget how, but he called me, he goes, I'm a big guy and you're a little guy, so we fit better in our seats. And I go,
that to you.
yeah. And I go, you're a big guy and I'm a little guy. And he goes, and the guy next to you is a big guy. So little guy goes next to big guy. And I go, it's the same seat. And he goes, but his elbow would have been touching me. And I go, well then, deal with it. I go, well, at least you're leaving Vegas a winner. And he goes, well, I knew you would give up your seat. You look like that kind of guy. And I go, what a nice little guy. And he kind of giggled. I go, look at us. We would make a good buddy cop film. And he laughed. And then we fist bumped and that was it. Oh, and he goes, I know I should have given them the seat, but you didn't have to call me an asshole. And I go, well, then you shouldn't have been an asshole because you're being one. If you don't want to be called an asshole, don't be an asshole. And then he kind of murmured. And then I go, look at us. We should be a buddy cop film. And then we fist bumped.
Y'all
And he had
talking way too much on
and he
the
had
goddamn
two
plane.
fucking masks on. He was a pussy.
You see this shit?
He was a fucking pussy.
That's too much talking. Y'all have all that conversation on the goddamn flight?
I never said I'm not mentally unstable. I'm a fucking lunatic, dude. I know.
But we all are. I don't believe in this normal thing. I think this chase for normality, to feel normal, is just a way for everybody to be medicated and all that shit. It's like, yo, you live how you live. I was just getting at the thing before you even, because you didn't start throwing in those other things into after the fact.
What other
I
things?
was just saying.
Because you didn't let me finish the story. Go on.
All I'm saying is, he was still in the, he wronged you, but y'all still seemed like y'all had a decent flight, but.
He didn't wrong me. He rubbed me the wrong way because he was rude to the family that asked him for a favor.
And just because a favor is asked doesn't mean it has to go.
But
I've been asked on planes. I've asked on planes and moved people who said no. I didn't go, fuck this nigga, this motherfucker. I go, okay.
yeah, and that's what they did. But I saw it as a perceived slight in the way he
And
rejected
that's
them.
why I'm saying you can see why that's dangerous, because your perception of how things should go isn't the rest of the world. It's not how the rest of the world functions.
I understand, but I function how I function.
I know, but you jump it like the train thing you brought up. It's different. If you seen somebody on the train getting their ass beat or being a victim, being victimized, yes, you can interject. But if you see
I'll
somebody
probably end
like,
up getting
I
fucking
don't actually
stabbed.
feel like moving, and then you go, you're an asshole because you didn't move, I think that's wrong.
You're well within your right to think it's wrong, and I think it's right. I mean, that's the way it is. You know?
Two wrongs will make a right, man.
We'll be right back after this.
But anyway, I still want to talk about childhood shit.
I don't.
That's making you uncomfortable. Why? You don't want to talk about childhood? Your mom seems like a pretty great lady.
She is.
Do you have?
She is.
Do you
She
feel like?
is. Go ahead.
Is it more of like, oh, I could have been a better son? Is that what is it? What's making you so apprehensive to like not want to talk about it?
Because
she seems like she did the right thing.
She did, dude. She did the best she could with what she was given and God, and you know, I am so massive. The reason I am the way I am today is because of her. She raised me with love and care.
Yeah.
A lot of things happened to her, to me, and to us growing up, and I don't care to spend time dissecting that and getting into it, because we've grown past it, and all that matters is we have a great relationship today. It wasn't good for a very long time, and we both experienced incredible traumatic events, you know, especially, and we never dealt with it. The first time we ever really talked about the day my dad died was Christmas 2019, and he died in 1993. So there were a lot of times when it was, you know, it was me acting out because of sadness and anger, but I didn't have the vocabulary to say that.
Yeah.
And her wanting me to be better and seeing me sad made her sad. So it was a lot of posturing of, I'm fine, you're fine, I'm fine, we're fine, and we're both not fine, but we don't know how to communicate that. So it's these outbursts and these blow-ups from me and her as a way to deal with what happened, what's going on, without actively discussing it. So there were a lot of issues. You know, she did a lot of fucking wild shit. I did a lot of wild shit. But it was just two people trying to navigate situations that nobody should have to deal with, you know? And it is what it is, and I'm just so grateful that we have each other, and we always had each other, and it just took me a long time to see that and get rid of the anger I had towards the world and to her and to this and to that. And you know, my dad, every day before he left for work, he'd write us a note on yellow legal pad, and I have stacks of these notes. And I've struggled with my identity and my anger and the, you know, anger at God and the world and this. And, you know, looking back at those notes, so many times my dad would write, just be Ian and everything will be okay. Be the happy, loving kid that we've raised with love and happiness, and everything will work out. And I just...
And this was at 8, not 8, because
seven and 8, 6,
so
7 and 8.
6, 7, and 8.
And I forgot that messaging for fucking 2 decades.
Were you
2.5
struggling with
decades.
identity even as a kid, like before he passed away?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, I always knew I was different, and I had these weird attractions, and I felt wrong, and, you know, I was very like religious, and I was afraid of going to hell. And then when your dad dies when you're 8, and you're like figuring out your body and these things, and everyone in your Catholic life is like, he's with you now forever. Yeah. You're like, oh, I don't want to be with me when I'm looking at the computer, you know.
But he'll probably like help out.
But
he was like, "Nah, son, hold it like this."
oh my god, you fucking dickhead.
He like, hold it like this,
But-
boy. Don't hold it like that.
But what I'm saying is that the message was always there.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't able to see it and receive it until I was way older and I went through all this shit. And I'm grateful
got it at
for
the
it,
right
man.
time.
I had to get my scrapes. I had to fuck up, and goddamn, thank God my mom never turned her back on me for the shit I put her through, you know. And you know, she always loved me no matter what, even when we were butting heads. And so
good. That's
I'm just so grateful that, you know, she never leaves the house. She never leaves Delaware. But everywhere I go, I get her like a little trinket, or I'm sure to call her and update her. So wherever I go in the world, I can take her with me. And I just want to be a guy that when you see me and interact with me, you're like, man, you're pretty dope. And that's a direct reflection of my mom and dad.
That's what. But you had that in. You done with this? No. You had that in common with the kids you was working in the city. Most of those kids that you taught live the same life you live. They're
No.
not there because of something they can't handle, something they couldn't control, and they got a mom who's doing their best. But that's where your common ground was.
That's where I relate, and that's why I loved, huh?
Did you discover that while you were teaching? Because we started the conversation
Well, that-
off with like no structure, going from this white world with no structure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but your world wasn't like that.
But that's
Because your world, once you hit 8, your world changed, and honestly, your world is the same exact world of inner city youth.
well, with you know
With what?
differences and everything.
difference?
You know, I mean, like
religion plays a big part.
religion,
lot of inner city
economics.
youth- but let me finish.
Go ahead.
What's the economic? So your mom is living off of a single household income.
Right,
She worked her ass off,
right.
and every once in a while, a partner would chip in or something, or you had other family members that chip in. Correct. On top of that, religion. A lot of black families are religious, regardless if it's Islam or being Christian of Christian faith. What's the other one? You had to deal with an unexpected death. A lot of people deal with that shit. So I'm saying you had a lot more in common.
A lot of abuse.
A lot of abuse. Well, no, there's some kids that don't get their ass whooped. A lot of black kids don't get whooped.
Oh, I got whooped like a fucking black kid.
You can't say that.
I was a bad kid.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is, dude, that's you bring up a good point. I always have known that I'm black.
Well, no, I'm saying that's an American experience.
Well, yeah,
Like,
that's why I relate to fucking. That's why I think I went towards teaching, because I was like, a lot of these kids are like me, and I'm like them, and I want to help. And that's why I fucking love. I feel like I can like relate and be like friends and stuff with black people off the jump, because not that our experiences are similar. I'm not trying to co-op that, but like, you know, I was the only one in my.
What adversity is.
Yes, I was the only one growing up in my friend group, in my school, in my family that had fucking adversity in these things. And it was like so lonely as a kid seeing everyone with the things that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And, you know, I got over it, but like, you know, I was the only one with like a fucked up family. I was the only one with like all this shit going on.
No, I get it. You think your family is fucked up, but it wasn't fucked up. You just had a dad die. That's not a fucked up thing. That you
Oh, I
fucked
haven't
up.
even scratched the surface with.
Oh, you don't have to go there.
Yeah. But that's why I think I gravitate towards people that are troubled in like comics, because a lot of comics have fucked up backgrounds. And I was always the one kid that all this shit happened to. And then I get involved in comedy and I meet you and I meet all these people that it's like, oh, dude, we're fucking bonded, you know? And that's why I feel like a lot of people get into comedy that come from well-to-do families and come from this, and they have a hard time relating to people. And I'm not happy that stuff happened, but I'm so grateful because it made me who I am. And I'd much rather be me and someone that fucking, and especially going to like rehab and like living in halfway houses and jail and stuff. Like I've hung around with more people from the bottom of the barrel that like I fucking love. And I'd much rather be around people that like struggle and work on themselves to get better than people that have like lived a good life in Connecticut. You know, like I love, like a lot of my friends are like in gangs and like hardcore music gangs.
Too over that shit.
And I know, but I like it. I like it. Like a lot of them are like, oh yeah, I got locked up this weekend, blah blah. And I'm like, oh, tell me more. You know, like when I was in high school, I had friends at different schools that were in like gangs and stuff, and I loved being like the fun guy that would shit talk and then they'd have my back. I was such a pussy. But you know, like and dude, if I didn't grow up without a dad and all this stuff, I would have never got involved in music. And dude, my mom used to drop me off in Philly to get me out of the house, and I'd go to these shows and I'd meet these people, and then I found this music that like gave me an ethos and was like a dad to me that I didn't have, because I learned how to live through the lyrics. Music? It was ska and it was punk rock and hardcore. You know, a lot of hardcore is about, you know, like having your friends are like family. You have your friends back no matter what. You stand up for what's right. You know, we're all united. Like all this like cheesy rah-rah stuff, but it really gave me an idea of like these like ethos and way to live that I think that if I came from like a normal regular family, I would have not been searching and seeking so much for answers that I wasn't getting from a mom and dad. Does that make sense?
No, I get it. I know everything you said.
And you know, and my mom made it happen, man. She would take me to record stores and drop me off, and I would just sit and listen to music and talk to these. I was in like 5th grade talking to like high schoolers and college kids about like music, and I was gonna buy a rap album, and they were like, no, you don't want that. You listen to this stuff and you want rap? No. Listen to this. And they put me on to hardcore. And I remember it like changed my life, you know, because I had these older kids that were like, you know, oh, little dude, we're going to steer you right, you know. And my first job was at like a record store, you know, like, yeah. That's why, dude, I feel like it's so weird with technology, because music was so important to me, and I learned about music through other people. And like, oh, dude, you and I get along. I'll probably like what you like. What do you like? Oh, cool. I'll listen to that. And now it's just like an algorithm, and you can just like listen. But like, there was something so special about getting a record of a band you like and looking at the thank yous, and they list other bands, and you go, oh, dude, if these guys like these guys, well, I'm going to check these guys. Huh?
That's dope. I didn't even get that deep into it. I got
like,
burnt CDs for burnt CDs or other cassettes. Like the first time I got an album was in the group home. It was a Fugees album, and it was a great album. But I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about the thank yous and all that shit, because I was so used to just getting a tape that someone else gave
dude, talk about
copied or something.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like that is such an intimate sharing of friendship and knowledge, where you go, hey, I made this. It's a hard copy. Take it. You know. So I would get tapes from people, and also back to my dad. My dad. When my mom was pregnant with me, my dad would play the guitar next to her belly, and they'd put records on, and they'd dance with me. So I've always been very like...
Your dad's a musical dude?
Yeah. He was in a band, and like I was always so musically drawn to just... I was dancing the second I was born, you know. And I mean, dance is in my name, Fidance. And so, so my dad died, and years later I found all these tapes, and he had made mixtapes off of records. And so I would listen to the music, look up the lyrics, find out what band it was, and then get into that band. And listening to these tapes over and over in my car, I could hear like the record scratch, or sometimes he'd talk into it, and he'd record him and his friends talking and playing music. And I'm like, oh my God,
podcasting.
What a gift. What
podcasting.
What a gift to be able to know my dad in this way after he died. Because all I ever wanted was to know him as like a guy my age, or like a man. I never did, because he died when he was 37. I was 8. So I was always seeking this, like 38. Ooh. So I outlived my dad.
Man,
and that's...
How does that feel? How's that?
It's weird, man. It's like, it, you know, it kind of hits me when I go home and see my mom, you know, because it's still the same house. But, you know, it was like very strange when I turned 37. But, you know, like how lucky am I that I got to know him in a way, even after he died, that, you know, showed me a side of him that some people don't even have with their alive fathers.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it took me a long time to look at all this shit in a way of like, I like who I am today. And I'm that way because of this. So I'm grateful for this. Because any other way of looking at it, it's just going to lead you to anger, resentment, fucking, you know.
You gotta. I feel like you have to like who you are because you're stuck with you. Right?
Yeah, but it's so hard.
I know.
It's so hard because you especially
You got
like,
outside influences.
yeah, but also, you know, your deepest, darkest whatevers, and, you know, like, you know, your behaviors, and you can hate them, and like, dude, we have to watch ourselves all the time, and I'm like, I'm like obsessed with myself and hate myself at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like a vicious
Toxic
cycle.
relationship.
Yeah.
You
You
want
know,
to fix things. I get it. I go through the same shit.
especially like with comedy, we have to, you know, we're like rabbis examining the Torah. We're constantly analyzing and thinking, and how do I feel about this and then this
it
and
come
this?
off and
Yeah. And it's like, man, that is me under a microscope that just, you know, I'm so self-obsessed, and I do love myself, but I hate myself. So it's a constant battle, you know? But I feel like that's what drew me to this art. That's what drew me to this field of like, always seeking and looking and wanting, you know, to like know and like figure it out, and you know, it's just fucking, I don't know, like, you're right, you do have to love yourself, but it's so fucking hard, you know.
Let's play this game. Man.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize.
My bad.
I like that. I like that we came to like a real moment because we started off with turbulence. We started off like fucking virtual signal, motherfucker this, that. And now we're here. This is friendship.
Yeah, that's what
works.
friendship is.
This
It's
what
okay to
friendship
argue.
works.
It's okay to not agree.
But as long as it ends with this.
Yes.
And did the conversation on the plane end with this?
It ended with this.